everyone, it's Shelby from the Country Living Homestead. Today I'm going to be building some raised beds, so stay tuned. So before I get started building those raised beds, my son Lewis is going to give me a hand with sawing the boards. I'm making the beds 8 foot by 4 foot wide, so he's going to give me a hand.
All right everyone, so this design is for a 4 foot wide by 8 foot long raised garden bed. Now today we went to our local Amish sawmill, and this is a piece of 1 by 12 by 8 foot larch, and it was super cheap. It was only $8 per board, per 8 foot board, and we ended up getting 7 boards for $56. Super cheap rather than going to a regular lumber yard and getting it from there. So I would recommend going to the Amish. So now I've already cut the 8 foot pieces, but now I'm going to show you me cutting some of these 8 foot pieces, or 4 foot pieces. Now our blade isn't a 12-inch blade, so I have to flip them. Which here at the Country Living Homestead, we work with what we have.
So my son Lewis is here to help me put these raised beds together. Say hi, Lewis.
Hi.
I tried to put them together myself. That was not happening. It was way too hard to put the screws into this wood on my own. So Lewis is here to help me today. We have some weed fabric that we're going to put under the bed. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, so our raised beds are going to be 8 foot long. So we're measuring out just a little bit beyond the 8 foot mark, probably about 8 1/4, you think, Lewis?
We could go 8 foot 1.
Or I mean, you mean like 8 1/2?
Like right here, 8 foot 1, 97 inches.
Oh, okay. So that way we have a little bit of an overhang. I don't want it to be too short where weeds can creep up into the bed. So we'll cut this and get started. So Lewis, what do you think about this larch lumber? Is it easy to screw into?
No, it is definitely not easy to screw into. You definitely want to use an impact if you're going to be messing with this stuff.
Yeah, we had to give up the regular drill and get out the impact. Okay, so here's our first raised bed. We just have to put a few more screws in the corners to shore it up, but we just kind of wanted to get it tacked together first. I've got to straighten it out a little bit. It's a little bit, I have it pointed kind of crooked, but as you can see, they make a very nice raised bed. It's a nice rustic look, but I will say that if you're working with larch, definitely use some gloves, because especially if you're using rough cut, it's very easy to get some serious slivers in your hands. But other than that, I love it. Looks great. We put these little pieces in the corner there so we had something to screw into. And this is an 8 by 4. Lewis is putting a few more screws in just to make it a little bit more sturdy. What do you think, Lewis?
I think it's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah. just ordered 50 strawberry plants, so we're making 2 of these raised beds. Hopefully I'll be able to fit them all in. Is this wood easy to work with?
No. No, but it'll last a while. That's the important part.
And it was cheap.
Yeah. So here's a helpful tip too with this wood, because it seems to cut pretty easily. Put the cup so it's facing outwards, so it'll be a U shape. Make sure it's facing outwards like this. That way when you screw it together, it'll draw in to your piece right here. We've been using these pieces, they work really good. Seems to hold it together pretty solid.
That's a 2x4, right?
Yep, that's a 2x4. And they're cut into 1-foot pieces.
Today I am going to start filling up my raised beds that my son Lewis and I made. So I put weed block down at the bottom, as you can see, because I want these beds to be as maintenance free as possible. I only want to have to do a very minimal, if any, amount of weeding. So my first layer is weed block. On top of that, I threw in some cardboard that I had, some chunks of wood, and some trimmings from some of the trees on my property. Now, that's going to serve 2 purposes. One, it's filling up the bed more so I can use less soil, saving me money. And 2, these things are going to break down over time and help fertilize the plants that will be in here, which in this bed happens to be strawberries. Okay, let's talk for a minute about what I'm using to fill these beds. I am using Miracle-Gro raised bed soil. I've never used it before, so I can't attest to how well it works. It's supposed to be 100% organic. The reason I'm really using this is because it was on sale at my local store, and it was the most inexpensive thing that I could purchase nearby. So that's what I'm using in the beds. I got 6 bags of this. I highly doubt that's going to be enough, but it was all I could fit in my vehicle at the time, so we'll see how far we get. Okay, so this is how far 6 bags got me. Not great, but definitely not enough. I'm probably gonna need, I'd say, 3 or 4 more bags of the garden soil and then a couple of bags of compost to top it up. All right, everybody, I'm back. This is the 3rd day I've been working on this. And I started out with 6 bags of the Miracle-Gro raised bed soil. That wasn't enough, as I suspected, so I ended up getting 4 more bags. So in total in this bed I have 10 bags of the raised bed soil, and which is just about perfect. These are a foot high, and I don't want to fill them to the top because I'm going to be planting strawberries in here. And so I want to be able to have room to cover it with either hardware cloth or some bird netting to keep the squirrels and chipmunks and birds and all that out of here. So I didn't want it all the way up to the top, and it's not necessary to have it that high anyway. Pretty much any plant I'm going to want to grow in here will be fine with this amount of soil, which is probably about, I'm going to say 7 inches. And I'm gonna put 2 bags of compost in here. I will show you what I'm using. Okay, so this is the compost I'm putting in today. I can't vouch for it. It's my first time using it. It's Coast of Maine, approved for organic growing. So I'm going to be giving this a try. I bought 2 bags. That should be plenty for this strawberry bed, so I'm going to go ahead and get that in there. All right, I got the compost in here, so I'm going to go ahead and spread that around. And those 2 bags were just about the perfect amount for this size bed. All right, this looks really good. I'm really happy with it. And even with the 10 bags of soil and 2 bags of compost and the lumber, I'm only about $105 into this raised bed, which is fine with me because I plan to age in place where I am. So I'm going to be putting up a lot more of these raised beds, and I'll be getting years of use out of these. So for a little over $100, I can't go wrong. It's been raining like crazy for days here, and I don't think it's quite done yet for today. So I'm probably not going to plant the strawberries in here until tomorrow, but I will definitely keep you updated on how this bed is working out for me and how the strawberries are doing. Thanks so much for stopping by the homestead today. I hope you got some ideas that might help you out, and I hope you have a great day.